Hello and welcome to another Win Daily Show. My name is Michael Raziel, and we have the 7/29 MLB Slate Breakdown. And I got my man Ghost with me. Ghost, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, Michael. Yourself?
It's a good day to be alive, brother. It's a good day to be alive. We got a lot of
Absolutely.
baseball. Mets have won a couple games, which is pretty sweet. So you're never going to see me this happy the rest of the season, I presume. So Ghost and I are here to break down the MLB slate, which is locking at about 7:05 today. So we're going to be looking a little DraftKings, we're going to be looking a little FanDuel, and we'll get it rocking and rolling right away. So let's jump into it. I mean, pretty easy. Last slate, no pitching. This slate, pitches exist again. So it's a little bit more easy. It's a little bit more fun. As you can see, we have Garrett Cole and Jacob deGrom, two of the greatest pitchers of our generation, essentially, of the last 5 years up at the top. So if you want one of them, grab it. So we don't really have to talk too much about it. Obviously, Garrett Cole going against the Orioles, probably a sweet play. But after that, man, who are we looking at, and what are some of these plays that we can kind of pay down a little bit for, so that way we can fit the rest of our lineup that we need to?
I mean, yeah, exactly like what you said, right? We went from having the option of who's going to get me pretty much some positive points instead of just resulting in negatives in my lineup the past couple of days to multiple aces on the same slate, right? So over on FanDuel, specifically for cash games, I'm not getting cute with it. You take Cole, you take DeGrom, pretty much whichever one you flip a coin and you're set either way there. I mean, I know our guy Brian Tulloch definitely likes DeGrom being a Mets fan and multiple staff members being on the Mets, but we have some Yankees fans on the team too. So, but hey, you can never go wrong with either one of them. In GPPs, you could kind of fade some of them if you're multi-entering. I'm definitely not opposed to that, given how high both their respective ownerships are going to be. It's kind of nice that we have both of them on the same slate. That way, one of them doesn't end up 50 plus. Hopefully, well, hopefully not at least. But going down into some further targets, Chris Paddock right at the top there, along with them. I'm hoping he's going to have slightly lower ownership than he should be. He's in a premier matchup, but I imagine that most people are saying, "Hey, if I'm paying 9,700 for Paddock, why not just go up 11 plus for DeGrom and Garrett Cole?" So Chris Paddock is an interesting pay up option, especially in your large field GPPs. My next favorite target is probably Andrew Heaney of the Angels, way down there. So if you're trying to get in some premier bats, although some of them are priced surprisingly low, which we're about to get into, but Andrew Heaney is definitely my punt play today. And if you're willing to roll the dice on it with the projected ownership on the Kansas City Royals, I might have one or two shares of Matthew Boyd, specifically just because it's the ultimate edge in the sense that if Kansas City bats are drawing that much ownership, why not play the opposing pitcher and see if you could take down one of those massive tournaments?
Yeah, man. I mean, you got to get a little crazy with it, as you said. Cash games. Let's not get cute, man. You got two of the greatest pitchers on the slate. Just use one of them. You're probably going to be just fine. Make your money and use that to maybe bet a little bit too. So, in terms of stacks, I mean, one easy one. We'll just start with Yankees Baltimore because that's the one that most people, I mean, myself included, you're going to be talking about. It is crazy to me the difference, and we'll hop over to DraftKings in a little bit, how different the pricing is between the two companies, between the two platforms. I mean, of these Yankee stacks, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to be difficult. But if you do one of those pay downs, it's going to be hard if you put Cole in, of course, or DeGrom. But if you do a pay down, you grab Haney. You could definitely fit a lot of these guys in. How do you feel about a Yankee stack here over on FanDuel?
Yeah, for sure. I have them ranked as personally my number two stock right now, right behind the Minnesota Twins. And exactly like what you said, the pricing here is rather shocking to see guys like Aaron Judge floating around 4K. Usually he's 4.5 plus, and even though on the surface it only seems like $400 or $500, it definitely goes a long way in upgrading positions like second base and shortstop where they're typically rather thin on some slates. So getting guys like Giancarlo Stanton at under 4,000, DJ LeMahieu at 34, you have Gary Sanchez, although yeah, he seems like a strikeout machine this year, even more so than what he usually does. But right now, I mean, it's very hard to fade these Yankee stats and stacks, and I'm definitely gonna have a ton of them.
And one thing we do need to point out, Gleyber Torres is facing the Orioles. So, as Mike Trout homers on Saturdays, Gleyber Torres hits 4
Yeah,
home runs against the Orioles. So make
absolutely.
sure to at least have him in a couple lineups because you'll look silly if he goes off and he's not doing too much. So you also said you're really interested in a little bit of a twin stack there in
Yep.
St. Louis, them going against Daniel Ponce de Leon. How do you what about it? What is it about this twin stack that you're really interested in and trying to smash a bunch of them into a lineup?
Their implied run total has been climbing throughout the day and continues to climb leading up through lock, and typically that's a very good sign. They have a favorable matchup with Ponce de Leon on the mound, and they're one of the best lineups in all of baseball. And on top of that, they're running really hot right now. You can go with almost anybody in this lineup, whether it's some salary savers or their main guys. Like typically, I'd like to go 2, 3, 4, 5 when I use the Twins. I love Donaldson, Polanco, of course. Nelson Cruz had that big game the other day, so he'll probably be the highest owned of the bunch. But again, I mean, when he goes off for 75 FanDuel points, whether he's high owned or not, you're going to want him in your lineups, right? So either way, you have a couple other interesting names here. Luis Arias leading off is someone that really interests me, especially if you're not playing DJ LeMahieu over at second. If you kind of want to defer that position in terms of ownership, or hey, why not play both, right? We have that utility spot over on FanDuel, so he's another interesting option. And of course, Jay Cave hit that grand slam the other day, so why not take a couple shots on him as well in that outfield position?
Doesn't hurt, man. I mean, the Twins didn't set a record for the most home runs in a season by accident last year, so it's definitely worthy of checking them out and making a couple lineups with them in it. They have just been absolutely mashing this year, it's fun to watch. And yes, Nelson Cruz, very grateful that I have him on my season-long team, so not too bad. Maybe I'll let him make me some money tonight. In terms of maybe one more stack over here on FanDuel that you're looking at, what's that third team that you're going to be paying attention a lot to?
I mean, I have no issue with either going with the Dodgers or the Astros in that game. In terms of the rivalry standpoint, we kind of saw things escalate a little bit last night, so we'll get to see a little bit more of that tonight. But I feel like it's a bit of a safer route for a value stack, especially if you want to try and jam in Garrett Cole or DeGrom with your Yankees or your Twins. I'm probably going to go with the Tigers for our highest value on the board, especially over on DraftKings, which we're about to get into as well. So I like to have some consistency in my lineups on both across both sites. So I'll most likely have a couple stacks with the Tigers.
Tigers as well. Awesome, man. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, the Dodgers are going against a rookie, Christian Javier. So we'll see. I mean, obviously his price isn't too high, so we'll see what happens there. But looks like it might be a little bit of a bullpen game again for the Dodgers, I'm sorry, the Astros, who gave up 8 runs last night, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely not quite the Astros of old, but yeah, you can grab some of these Dodgers. You can make some money there as well. So let's hop out of here for a second while I bring up the DraftKings side of everything. And I'm just excited to start to look at this because, yeah, when I saw how expensive Mike Ford was over here, like
my gosh,
it just blew my mind. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. Again, though, so let's start out with pitching because, again, we were talking about it. Obviously, pricing is going to be a little different. Jake's a little higher over here than he was. Cole is actually the number 2 highest pitcher. I think, again, either one, you're going to be great. Playing both of them over here on DraftKings, that is going to definitely hurt. But if they both show out like they have the opportunity of doing, you're probably going to make a little bit of money. So again, you go with either of them, you're fine. Who is that second option for pitcher for you over here on DraftKings that can help save a little bit of money so that way you can fit one, get a nice other pitcher, and then you can build some of those stacks we've been talking about?
For me, there's not a doubt in my mind. I mean, it'll either set me apart from the pack or it'll burn my lineups tonight. But I'm going to be extremely overweight over on Chris Paddock on DraftKings. I'm not really too sure why he's priced that low. I don't know if they know something that we don't. But being behind guys like, I mean, we have some really talented pitchers here. Like Charlie Morton's very talented. Mike Soroka, of course. You have some nice strikeout arms there, and overall, they're talented individuals, but just from a matchup standpoint, and right now I'm still mind blown by Chris Paddock being 8,400. Andrew Heaney still sits there at 79, but again, for only $500 more, I'm definitely going to go with a bunch of Chris Paddock in my DraftKings lineups.
100%, man. I mean, I don't even think it's a question. It's pretty much just, do what you got to do to get him in when you can. And so again, just want to go looking over here at these Yankees players, Yankees stacks. It is hysterical how
Let's see that
expensive.
Mike
I
Ford
mean,
price.
like seriously, Mike Ford at 5,300.
Oh my
Princeton.
god.
I am literally 20 minutes from Princeton University right here. We all know Mike Ford's story. I mean, I'm from the Northeast, so that's all they talk about. Is this dude went to Princeton, yada yada yada. But him being at 5,300 is absolutely insane to me. I mean, Gleyber Torres 52, Aaron Hicks 5, Gio Urshela 5, Brett Gardner 4,800. I mean, can you even make you can't pitch either of those top two guys and make a Yankees stack. Like, how many lineups are you really going to be trying to shove any of these guys in at this point?
I mean, not many. It's tough for me to say, given how overweight I am on them over on FanDuel, and like I said before, I like consistency across both sites in my lineups. But man, I just can't get around these prices, and especially with wanting at least one of DeGrom or Cole in my lineups, it's very tough to fit these Yankees in. I'm not going to defer from my strategy of stacking and try and jam in a one off or whatnot. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
tough to say, but I'm most likely fading the Yankees over on DraftKings.
If anything, you're gonna have to go like Heaney and Musgrove, or maybe like Paddock and Musgrove, and pay way
Yeah.
down for pitching, get very different, and then try and figure something out there. Because if not, I mean, you can't possibly do anything with this price. It's just, I mean, Mike Ford at 5,300 is just absolutely mind blowing to me.
I mean,
So
it really limits you, right? Like,
exactly,
especially when you're playing MLB DFS, the key to success in your lineup, it's absolutely no secret. Everybody knows it is at the pitching position, right? So, I mean, if your guy goes out on the mound and gets rocked, you're not just slightly behind the field. I mean, you're sitting behind 15, 20, even 25 points if
hmm
it happens to both your pitchers, right? So, I mean, if you're jamming in these Yankees, you got to pray for a 10 plus run game and for all five or 3, 4, or 5, no matter how many you play, that every single one of them goes off. And at that point, I rather not take the risk to punt the pitching position to do that.
exactly, especially with all the great. Now, if this was last night, we already punted. Like, now this would have been such a
Yeah,
better game from yesterday to stick
absolutely.
in there. But today, again, with DeGrom and with Cole on the hill, I mean, again, let's not get too cute. One thing I will say again, though, never forget Gleyber Torres against the Orioles. Let's just remember that he would have won, I think, like season home run record this year if he just had all his stats from last year against the Orioles. It was absolutely insane. So we'll see what happens there. As you said before, though, you do like Detroit as well. So I want to check
Yeah.
up on over here and see. I mean, obviously these prices, we're talking 1,500, $2,000 cheaper in certain situations. What is it about these Tigers going up against Danny Duffy that you're liking so much?
I mean, his hard hit contact rate is extremely high, and if I'm gonna pick on a pitcher from either side of that game, I rather pick on Danny Duffy than I would on Matt Boyd. Um, Matthew Boyd's a guy that's been coming on strong the past couple of years, and I actually like him from a GPP perspective tonight. I mean, with the amount of ownership, again, like I said before, that Casey's drawing tonight. I mean, why not throw a couple Matt Boyd lineups out there? And not only because of that, but just Matt Duffy's a guy that Danny Duffy, sorry, is a
Mhm.
guy that I just I can't get around to trusting. I mean, not only from my season long leagues, but he's a guy that can go out there and look like a number 2, number 3 pitcher when there's other games where he looks like he barely belongs in the league or he looks like he belongs in the bullpen, right? So
Mhm.
I'd rather take my shot on Detroit lineups than I would on KC tonight, and by far the best value on the board. I mean, you have guys like CJ Cron sitting at 32. Shoop is there at 33. I mean, Jacoby
Got him.
Jones is a little bit expensive
Mhm.
at 33, but how can you deny Miggy, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not
It's
X
not
amount of
old.
years ago, but why not? It's not the Miggy of old, but why not, right? I mean, he's hitting in that 3 spot. If he gets on base, especially at that price, he gets on base, he gets you a run. You're happy with it.
Exactly. I was gonna say you could definitely go 1, 2, 3, 4 here, really without too much worry, especially because again, we have to grab one of those top two pitchers. So in terms of, we looked at the Yankees, we looked at Detroit, we checked out Houston, LA over on the other side. just out of curiosity, if we are trying to fit, let's just get a little crazy with it for the last couple minutes. Pocket aces. I like the way our good friend Timmy Siggs over here described it. He said he might have a couple pocket ace lineups tonight.
Let's
I
go
mean,
Cole over
if
Morton though. Let's go Cole.
oh, shoot. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry. I did
Yeah,
not mean to do that. Yeah. Sorry. So,
let's
I
try.
mean, if
Oh
we
wow.
do Cole and DeGrom and Cole, obviously we have very little remaining salary between the rest of our team. How would you go about, or where are you looking maybe to fill in the rest of this team if you really wanted to? Again, if you can get both of these guys and then go off for 40 plus, 35 plus each, this is going to put you ahead of the game. I mean, what type of stack or what teams are you looking at here to maybe just, again, just jam in enough people that you can field the team at that point?
I mean, this is where a very particular case that I'm not necessarily opposed to throwing in a one-off or two.
Uh-huh.
I'm most likely gonna have to go with a 5-man Detroit stack here to be able to fit it. I mean, I think we have just under 3,400 per position.
Yes.
So let's lock in 5 Detroit hitters, and then we'll see what that leaves us with.
I love it. I love it. Let's go. We're gonna have to go down to the bottom of the barrel a little bit. We'll go
Yeah,
Scope,
it's okay.
go
We'll go
Cron,
CJ
go
Cron.
Miggy. Nope, Miggy. Gonna have to get rid of Crone then. Sorry, Crone. We're gonna go Miggy. We'll see what happens. Throw in a couple of these guys. Candelario. Okay. No, it might be possible, man. You might be able to do it if you throw in enough.
Yeah.
Let's not go Goodrum. That might be a little difficult. The Stewart. What do we got? What do we got? So we got 5 Detroit Tigers. Three spots left, and we still have 3,500 per player. So I mean, it's not impossible. I wouldn't probably suggest it on too many lineups. This wouldn't be a cash game lineup in my opinion. But it's possible, man. We could get a little weird and wacky with it. So hey, things are this it's nuts, man. So let's have
I
some fun.
mean, in some GPPs, I mean, why not? I'm kind of cringing at this at our batters right now, but I mean, hey, like you said, if both pitchers end up getting, I mean, with this lineup, we'll probably need 30 plus from both of them. But if there's anybody that could do it on the slate, it's these two guys right here, and you throw in some one offs in there. I mean, why not? Or even you play one DeGrom Paddock and then you do another with Cole and Paddock. I mean, you're pretty much saving $3,000 and $3,600 respectively right there, and try and upgrade your bats if you can. But I mean, in a large field GPP, I mean, why not, right? I mean,
Exactly.
if they do what they're expected to do tonight, you're pretty much guaranteed a nice 40 to 50 point cushion over the field by
It's
doing that.
it's definitely going to be weird. It's definitely going to be wacky. I want to see if we can get any of these twins in here, but that'll be kind of difficult just with the way it's constructed. But that's why we do this stuff. We do it for fun. We're here to help you win some money. That was just a cute little thing we wanted to do to see what we got. But Ghost, where can everybody find you on the internet?
At DFS_Ghost on Twitter, and as always in our Discord chat over at Win Daily Sports, bouncing around from channel to channel. Make sure you guys hop in and join in on the fun.
Yes, and NBA is coming back. So Ghost and I are going to be doing another live stream later tonight to talk about the NBA slate tomorrow, the 2-game slate, especially now with Zion maybe not playing and Anthony Davis maybe he's questionable. Surprise, right? And a couple other guys. Obviously, Lou Williams not going to be there. It's going to get weird.
I feel like AD's
bad.
been questionable for the past like 5 months, all throughout this
Right.
quarantine. I feel like they've just been waiting to put that Q tag beside Anthony Davis, but
sitting there waiting just to put it down. But
yeah.
make sure you can follow me at Michael Raziel1. Make sure to follow us at Win Daily Sports. Hop over to windailysports.com. Everything in gold, all the articles, all the projections, the expert chat, $20 a month. You get everything. You get Ghost, you get Jim, you get Jason, you get Rocker, you get Nick, you get Brian, you get all the guys. And I'm sorry for all of those I forgot, but we appreciate the hell out of them. So thank you all so much, and we hope you make it a very profitable night.